Okay guys, how you guys doing? It's Jigs again, and this time I normally shoot this outside, but it is getting cold out here in New York. It's I think around 40s right now, so I tried it for a few minutes and all of a sudden I couldn't feel my fingers anymore. So I feel like if we're gonna review something, I'm gonna need to be able to feel and hold some stuff. So anyway, just to go on, we're gonna do another Nova review. Up to now, you guys have been, I've been talking about my N1 here, which is still shooting great. I love it. Definitely has that old school OG Nova feel to it. But today I'm not gonna talk about this because I finally had time to unbox my N3. So I thought we'd go over that, and we'll go over that now. So, as you know, N1 is the original. It stays true to the original design. The N3 is a much more compact form factor. It differs in a couple ways, and I'll go over that right now. So first, let's go over my N3. And this is it right here. So I don't know if you guys can see that. Yeah, there you go. Focused a little bit. So this is my N3. It's a red color. I have this little fancy shroud add-on on the top. But it's red and black. Looks pretty nice. It's dust color. Currently it has the 12-inch barrel. I also have the 14-inch barrel, but I think I'm gonna reserve that for the next video after this. In the next video, I'm actually gonna go over a lot more in depth about one of the key components of the N3, and also how to install the barrel and maybe some other troubleshooting type stuff. But for now, there's gonna be more like a product overview of the N3 as compared to the N1. They do have some similarities, but you know, they do have their differences, so I'll go over that. But first, I don't think anyone has seen what comes in the box, right? So let me put this down right here. First things first, what comes in the box is this handy sheet right here, quick start guide. It goes over a couple things like, you know, gassing up the N3, safety operation, barrel sleeve installation, velocity adjustment, so on and so forth. He also has a lot of all the different parts and what to name them and stuff like that, so that's kind of cool. Also in there is a Nova barrel cover, barrel condom, which is nice. Box of O-rings, which is kind of typical nowadays. You kind of need it. Some Allen keys. This is more. This Allen key set is more for like. I think when you're really tuning or going through your gun over on the field, all you really need is this Allen key, which is on a nice little lanyard right here. This is for fits in the bottom. I'll go over that right now. And also one more thing, which the N3 has that the N1 doesn't come with, is this, right? And this is basically the test plug. It allows you to see the pressure of the marker, and you know, comes in handy. But typically you set it once and you never have to touch it again, but it's gonna come in handy. I'll probably go over in depth with, you know, how to use this in the next video. So some notable differences, or let's go over the similarities first. You can see frames are pretty similar, right? And especially since I have the grip on the N1. So it has the same adjustments in the bottom. So we have that big outer Allen key, which kind of sets the max pressure. This is preset in the factory. You normally don't have to take this and adjust this when you get it, and you have this locking nut to keep it in place. You have the barrel. The barrel is a different design than the N1. The N1 was a twist lock, kind of old school throwback to the way it was before, and the N3 is kind of screw on, as you can tell. So inserts, once again, they use the same inserts, so you don't have to worry about it. Oh yes, special note with the insert. Make sure if you're putting it on that you see the markings outside. What that means is that means you put it on correctly. If you do it the other way, it's too loose. So when you're shooting, it's actually, sometimes it's gonna chop. You're gonna get some chops because it's not, you know, moving along with the barrel. Sometimes it stays in the breech. So what you need to do is make sure that this is the end that does not have the marking goes in first, and you will feel resistance like right now. See? And you hear that satisfying seal, and you're good to go. So like I said, this is more like a screw-on type barrel. So you just screw this on, yada yada, and you are good to go. Okay, so another thing that's a little different. I think this is loose, so I can show you. Actually, you know what? Let me take the barrel out so you can see a little bit more of the... Maybe get some light in here. Okay, so inside... Oh man, that's gonna be rough. That's gonna be tough to tell. Let me get a... I'm gonna need a flashlight or something just to get you guys to see it, but it's gonna be hard to tell here. Let me use my phone. Yeah, okay, so in there's actually a detent, right? That detent is not like the normal detent where it kind of holds the ball in place. What that really is, it's a ball positioner. Let me see if I can get that angle here. See that black nub right there? That's a ball positioner. So what that does is when a paintball drops in, right? When a paintball drops in, it actually rolls the ball back all the way back, so it's in the perfect position for the barrel to scoop it up once it's ready to fire. One notable difference with the N3 as opposed to the N1 is with the N3, right? The N3 actually at rest, unlike the N1, is in an open position. With the N1, you know, when you air it up, it's the bolt is closed. What you end up seeing in here is the sleeve. You just see the sleeve here because it's closed. But on the N1, on the N3, that's not the case. It's actually open. So it's open at rest. So what that means is it's kind of like an open bolt, but it's not. But the shooting mechanics is not, because as soon as you pull this trigger, right? And I'll go over this trigger. As soon as you pull this trigger, the barrel moves back super fast, grabs the ball, and shoots it out. So it is shooting at a closed ball position, just not at rest. It's open. At rest, it's open. So with the N1, you have that classic trigger, two-stage. You hold it in, it keeps the bolt open. You release it, it closes, kind of like an autococker. With the N3, you don't have that. This is a tear-air system. This is called a tear-air trigger, and you know, you push, it goes through the full shooting cycle, and off it goes. So one thing I do want to talk about that's very important, and I think a lot of people are having issues with this, is setting velocity. All right, hear me out here. In the manual, right, it says to adjust the velocity of the N3, I'll go over it. The velocity of N3 is controlled by a balance of two adjustments: operating pressure, which is the velocity adjustment screw, which is at the bottom, that inner Allen key in here, right? And dwell. The dwell is set right here, okay, in the back by this Allen keyhole. Now this is preset at the factory. It's supposed to come to you at about 160 psi. In the manual it says most precision velocity adjustments can be made by only adjusting the dwell. This is one of the few mechanical, or probably the only mechanical markers that I know of that has a dwell adjustment. Most of the other markers, mechanical ones, they have it's preset, you know, you don't have to worry about it, you have to adjust anything, you basically air it up, pull the trigger, and you're good to go. Here you actually can adjust it. Now here's the problem with that. You don't really want to be messing around with the dwell, because what happens is, and this is why I'm leaning towards what I'm gonna say next. What happens is if you mess around with the dwell too much, you're gonna come across a situation in which you are going to have chopping issues. And the reason you're gonna have chopping issues is because you are not allowing enough time for the whole assembly, the whole cycle to complete. If you adjust the dwell and it's set too low. So actually, in actuality, what I would suggest is once you have this set up already, don't touch this. Get it to where it needs to be. It's supposed to be at around 160 to 200 psi. And if you're gonna adjust velocity, adjust the velocity with this bottom Allen key. Do not touch this, because at least with the bottom Allen key, let's say you back it all the way out, there's no air anymore because you really messed it up. It doesn't matter because you never messed with the dwell, right? So you can always just back it back in, give it some pressure. But if you back this out, you're gonna need your pressure gauge to kind of get it to where it needs to be. So it's easier for you to just keep this where it needs to be once you have it set right, and then, you know, forget about it. That's why I'm saying, you know, I know that the manual says use the 332 Allen key to increase the dwell to kind of tune the velocity, or you know, turn it counterclockwise to decrease it to reduce the velocity. I would advise against that. Yes, it does work, but I would encourage you guys to just adjust velocity right here on the bottom, because you'll have a much easier time. So in the next video, I'm going to go over how to sweet spot this thing. I know it's not ideal. Sometimes you're not gonna have this with you. You get to the field and, you know, you're having some issues, you're having some chops, but, you know, you don't want to have to, you want to be able to sweet spot it even without this. So that's my goal for the next video. But in summary, this is a great compact marker, very nice. I'm gonna get some air so I can really tune it, and go over some little bit of troubleshooting type stuff and other things like that, and also sweet spotting this. Okay, so, well, I just wanted to show you guys the N3 that I have right now, and stay tuned for the next video in which I go over in depth about, well, one, we're gonna swap over to the 14-inch barrel, and next is also sweet spotting this and getting it up to where it needs to be when you're having issues with like chops and things like that, or leaks for that matter. All right, see you guys next time.